All right, I am on the ice. Ice is kind of sketchy, to be honest with you. The last week it has been really good ice making weather, and then just like what's happened all season, absolutely all ice season, I finally get a chance to get out on the ice and the weather gets nice. It's been 50 the last 2 days. There's even rain forecasted in a couple days. Top little layer of ice here, top inch or so, is pretty mushy. Several inches of good ice underneath it. I think it's good. Hard to tell. I hope it's not too honeycombed. So far I feel pretty safe, but I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully I don't end up wet. That's the plan. Hopefully I catch fish. It's been too long since I've been ice fishing, so wish me luck. All right, these rods are kind of a mess. Whoa. Start with something simple here. It is beautiful outside though. Whoops, they're on a waxy. It is absolutely gorgeous, but man, I wish there were about 2 or 3 more inches of good ice here. I'd feel a lot better about it. But I have caught a ton of fish out of this pond at different times through the ice. A lot of little gills. There are some decent gills in here. I don't know, I catch actually quite a few catfish through the ice on this pond. Little pond in Pleasantville. I've done a lot of videos here before. DNR is actually planning on draining this pond and working on it, dredging it out. I think it's silted in pretty bad over the years. Again, there's nice crappie in here. Caught some decent bass. Like I said, it's not uncommon to catch catfish through the ice. Like, not even just once in a while. Like, I think just about every time I'm out here ice fishing, I catch a cat, or at least hook into one. You can always tell it's a cat because on the upswing of the hook set, it just kind of doesn't budge and then starts to move a little bit and it pops out. Not in the hole. It's about an 11-foot hole in this pond. I'm sitting about 8.5, 9. So there's some brush that's been put in here. So I might have to find that too. But it is nice to just wet a line. Just in a hoodie, jeans. Don't even have to have my full gear on. Although I should have brought a life jacket with me. I don't know why I didn't bring a life jacket. I feel a lot better if I have my life jacket on, but yeah. Hopefully I don't need it. Alright, not marking anything here. I did drill another hole out here a little deeper, I think closer to where the actual deeper hole is. Oh, actually that's somebody else's hole. I'm a little weary using other people's holes sometimes. Not that... that's where the hole is though. Not that using other people's holes are bad. I don't have a problem in general with using other people's holes, but the problem is, especially if there's been water on the ice, those holes can erode around the edges pretty bad with water flowing into them. I've come up on holes before that were open when it's been melting and it just swirled. The water was just swirling like a whirlpool down them. So I try not to get too close to them. I don't know how weak the ice is around it, but this is about where I want to be. Actually, I want to be where the fish are. It's about where I think the fish would be. little breeze out here. The sun's the worst. You know, warm temperatures are what people always worry about with ice. And don't get me wrong, warm temperatures after several days can really do a number, but really, if there was cloud cover, top of this ice would probably actually stay in pretty good shape. It takes quite a bit to melt ice fully. But that sun, whew. You add that with a little bit of warm temperatures, especially with water on top of it, that's magnified it even more. Starts honeycombing down from the top, and that's where things can get really sketchy. I've seen standing on 10 inches of good ice, somebody just fall right through because it was honeycombed. It was just nasty. This ice actually feels pretty good once you get past the top layer, but you can never trust any ice. Not marking anything here either. Of course, it is kind of the worst time of day. All right, drill a few more holes out here. I think I'm actually just sitting on the outside edge brush based on what I'm seeing. Oh, fishy. Alright, try another hole. No brush here. It's okay, because sometimes these fish just prefer to be off the edge brush. But yeah, I'm not seeing anything here either. It's one thing to mark fish and not catch any, and just not being able to trigger them to... Oh, that ice popped right under my feet. I do not like the feeling of that. But it's a whole other thing it's a whole other thing to not even mark fish. I did not like the feel of that ice under my foot coming out here. Kind of feel a little exposed. Don't know how much longer I'm going to do this. Not marking fish. Ice is kind of sketch. Not marking fish, and a big rip in my butt, my pants. I was hoping to catch at least one fish before I left, though. I don't know. It's Still good to get out. Yesterday was a long day. Had speech contest halfway across the state. Went pretty well overall. We ended the day hard. The end of the day was hard because my oldest really had high expectations, and everybody else did too, really, of their performance. Her and two other girls in her junior class really had a nice piece that they'd put together. Had a lot of compliments on it at district speech to get to state. They were the last performance of the day for the school, or second to last performance, right at the end of the day, and they had a hard room. When it comes to judges, and it's like that in any competition. You have refs that are tough, you have umpires that are tough, you have I was talking to somebody earlier, they had 4-H projects and photography, and they came up against a tough judge that if they'd hit a different judge at a different table, they would have really done a lot better, but because they hit a certain judge at a certain time, it just did not go their way. And so that's what Elizabeth came up against yesterday with her group, and they had a hard room. Looking back at all the scores, and a lot of low scores, medium, not low, I guess, a lot of 2s instead of 1s coming out of that room. And then the other room where my son performed his musical theater piece, there was a judge in there that didn't even give anything other than a 1. All she gave all day were 1s. And then the other 2 judges gave very few scores that weren't 1s. So it was an easier room. And so the 2 teams for our school that performed in there did really well. Thankfully, one of those was my son's. He got all 1s. And he had a wonderful improv performance too. It was really funny. It was really good. So, and then my daughter, then Elizabeth had a reader's theater piece that did really well. So she got a 1 on it. Her group got a 1 on it. My son got 2 1s. Elizabeth got a 1 and a 2. It was just a long day, and it just kind of stunk that it ended so hard. So we had church this morning, and there's just a lot going on. But she's going on to practice for individual speech contest here in a couple weeks. So it's just on to the next thing. I think really the lesson is humility, being willing to learn from hard things, and being just humble when we struggle, when we think we should do better than other times, and just accepting the hard moments, and then again too, not letting yourself be defined by what a judge thinks. One judge in one moment, or in this case 2 judges in one moment, they didn't like it and they scored accordingly. But that doesn't define her. I try to teach her that doesn't define you. That doesn't define, you could put that in front of 20 other judges and get good scores from all of them. And it's just one of those lessons to learn. If you're going to compete, you're going to perform, you're going to have some hard judgment moments. So hopefully she learns the lesson from that, and really all my kids learn the lesson from that. I've had to learn that the hard way through the years, so I think we all do. Anyway, I'm going to be signing off here. I'm going to gather my stuff up. I'm just not marking anything anywhere in any of these holes, but I'm glad I at least gave it a try. I'm going to go home, throw these jeans in the garbage because they are torn out. And then, I don't know, just enjoy the rest of my Sunday Sabbath day before another full week of work tomorrow, or next week, starting tomorrow. So, anyway, God bless you. Until next time. I'm out.